Hi and welcome to episode 2 of Building an Autumn Village as a Witch. In this one we're building a cozy but haunted manor, so let's get right into it. We have this really cool hill overlooking the entire area where the village will be, and I thought a manor would fit perfectly here, so that's where it'll go. Before we can do anything up here though, I will have to do some terraforming because I will need a big enough space and I will need that space to be even. So let's take away some stone layers here. We've finished terraforming this, and also we've already laid down the outline of where the manor will go. But what we're gonna do before we start building that is an iron farm, because I am constantly running low of iron just doing this terraforming. I think I went through 4 iron pickaxes, so that won't do. I've already prepared a little village breeder here. I just need to add 2 beds, and then we have a village right over here, which I think we haven't even explored yet. So we'll go there and grab some villagers. I'm at the village and I got 4 villagers now into the boat, but then I realized that I'm playing Minecraft in a version where I can't yet pull boats by a lead, so I'm actually gonna have to break these and place them again, because I can only ever take 1 villager at a time. And yes! Okay, I've got a singular villager here. I will take that one home with me. Please don't try to go back home. I need you to fall in. Of course. Yes! No! Oh my god! What am I doing? It's dangerous out at night. You need to go to bed. Come on, come on. Yes, finally. Okay, now I will get rid of these stairs so that no zombie gets in while I'm gone. And then I'm gonna go through that whole ordeal again and grab a second villager, and then I'm gonna breed them up. Well, it took us another 2 days, but we finally got 2 villagers here. So we will give them a ton of bread now, so that hopefully they will breed up, fill these beds, and maybe have 3 kids while we build the iron farm. Oh nice, it already worked. Yes. I have scrunched up the last of our iron for an anvil, since we'll be needing a name tag for our iron farm zombie. And I think we'll be naming him Casper, since, you know, he'll be spending the rest of his time haunting a couple of poor villagers. Look at this. We got 4 baby villagers already. I didn't even know it was possible to have more villagers in a breeder than you got beds. I'm gonna kidnap 3 of them anyway for the farm, so the more the merrier, I guess. So for the iron farm, I want it to be in the corner of the house. I'm gonna start digging down here. I'm gonna link the video in the description box, of course. I'm gonna be using an underground iron farm just because I want it to be hidden by the manor on top. So now we need to get the villagers in so that they can sleep for a night before the zombie comes. Also, it's night, so I'm gonna take a nap in these very fresh beds. Okay. Come on, get in the boat. Come on, dude. There's more than enough space for all 3 of you. Go to sleep. Yes. Okay, I got this mostly filled in. This is gonna be the spot where the zombie would go, and then there are our sleeping villagers, and then here is the space for our chests. Now we have to add the actual trap for the iron golem. Okay, now we will get out of here and try to get a zombie. Oh my god. No. Oh no. Well, let's slowly dig our way out of here. I'm very much grieving the 25 XP levels I had. That's a pain, especially since I was planning to do the enchantment setup soon, but that's just how it is sometimes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we got back all of our stuff. Now we just have to wait until nightfall and then get a zombie in down there. I'm just not sure whether it will work because we got so many villagers up here and they also spawn golems. So if it won't work, I think I will take away their beds. Follow me. No, no, no. We're supposed to get into the boat. Alright, so it turned out we did have to relocate the villagers. They're now in a dirt hut down there. But I've been doing some odd jobs around the area, and in the meantime we collected this much iron. So I guess it's safe to say the farm is working. Which means we can now actually get started with this build. I already have the outline here, so we're just gonna have to fill it in. I want it to be dark, so mostly we're gonna be using dark oak. Now we're gonna go up 4 and then connect the pillars. Here I will leave space for a window. Here as well. Here I'm gonna have a 2 wide window. And here as well. And we'll do the same thing on the other side and then fill in the back wall. We filled in the walls of the first floor, leaving space for where the windows would then go. And then we also got started on the second floor, this time already adding in the glass. And then at the front of the house we added a little tower. I filled in all of the windows and I also swapped some of the strip blocks for planks to make the whole building look a little more old and patchy. And now we're gonna add a sort of railing around the first floor, or like a sort of balcony here in front. We're gonna wrap it all the way around. And pillars. I think up there on the balcony we're gonna do a second layer of slabs. Now we're gonna add some trims. And then I think up here I'm gonna swap these pillar trims with slabs and we'll wrap that all the way around. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. We just need to fill in the roof. It's gonna have a dark oak trim and the rest is gonna be deep slate, which we don't have yet. So I think this is the perfect time to start a strip mine. And maybe on the way we'll also find some diamonds, which is never bad. Why don't we dig down right here in our hidden workstation area? We found diamonds! Yay! I think we got more than enough deep slate. We got this and then already I started smelting some of that up. So I think we're ready to get the roof done. And this is our house with the roof filled in. The only thing that's missing on the outside is some decorations like spider webs and leaves, and then I also want to add shutters to the windows, but I want the shutters to be warped wood. So that means we have a trip to the nether ahead. While we're at it, I also want to grab some glowstone. Of course, if I want to use full glowstones, I'm gonna need a silk touch pickaxe, so maybe our next little side project will be an enchanting setup. Down here below our manor, I've already prepared a space. I want there to be a marketplace later, and here in the middle I have some space for the enchanting setup. So let's maybe go ahead and do that. Although I only have 23 levels, so I might just have to make a silk touch villager. I'm not sure yet. So we got our full enchanting setup done, but I am pretty sure I can't even get silk touch without 30 levels. So well, it's still good that we have the enchanting setup now. It's definitely gonna come in handy at a later point, but for now I think maybe a villager will have to do. Finally, we got silk touch. It's a little more expensive than it has to be because I might have accidentally hit the poor villager, but it's fine. At this point I'll take anything. So let's grab silk touch. Here we go. Let's grab some more obsidian and then we're ready to go. 14 obsidian should be more than enough. I think I'm gonna place this somewhere in the forest by our witch hut, and then later I can work on making it seem kind of overgrown. We're in a so sad valley. I don't love that. We're looking for a warped forest because we need some warped wood for our shutters mainly, but then we're also looking for glowstone, which I can already see some down there. We found a warped forest finally, so let's grab some wood from here. We're back from the Nether. It was a successful trip. Another thing I want to do with my Silk Touch pickaxe is go back to the haunted houses that we found and try to grab some of those sitting skeletons. There's a creeper skeleton. Nice. This is what it's looking like from the outside now. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's a little overgrown, but then again, that's just what happens to old buildings. So now for the interior. One of the first things I want to do is swap the stone floor for some marble texture floor that I want to do with smooth stone for the bright parts and deep slate for the dark parts. I think I'm pretty happy with this floor. Now we do the stairs and then the upper floor. I think I want to do trapdoors as a railing. A fireplace here in the middle. And then I've prepared some things that we can put on the mantle here. We have a picture frame, a stack of books here. This corner of the room I want to be the dining room. Once we're done with the interior, we're actually gonna prepare some Farmer's Delight meals that are placeable, like a roast chicken or a stuffed pumpkin, and then we're gonna place that on a table. Yes, I like that. A pot here, some firewood in front of the chimney. I've been sharing the sheep a lot, so I think I have enough wool for a pretty big carpet here that can also go up the stairs. Why don't I just bring you back once the interior is finished and then I'll show you around. The interior of the manor is finished, so let me give you a walkthrough. First of all, I added this path up there with some lighting because it was just a very steep area. And then I had also forgotten about the shutters that I wanted to add, so I added some of those, only partially because I wanted it to look very old and run down and like some of it had just rotten away. Now let's go in. The entryway and most of the downstairs you've already seen. We are greeted by our pumpkin guards. We're twins! I'm only missing the pumpkin head. And now in general, this manor once belonged to a very wealthy but seclusive family. They have disappeared decades ago. Nobody knows what happened to them or where they went. And the house now stands empty, except for the caretaker, who's a very mysterious man who mostly keeps to himself. But once a year, the entire village gathers in this manor to celebrate Thanksgiving. And this is the dining room where the feast is held every year. Now, as you can see, preparing the feast is the one thing we haven't done yet, and we will get to it right after we're finished with this little room tour. Now, over here, there's just the entrance to the iron farm, but that's not interesting right now. Then here's our stairway. And here at the top of the stairs, there's this living room, sitting room, library situation, some lighting as well. Also, there's a very cute badge hanging from the ceiling. Isn't that just so funny? Also, there's some trophies. There's a bear trophy, a skeleton trophy. There were apparently some hunters in the family that once lived here. And now through this door is the master bedroom. The inside of the house doesn't look as run down as the outside because the caretaker is still living here. He's still using all of these rooms, so they're mostly taken care of. What's that? You saw a ghost in the mirror? Well, if you did, that's actually entirely possible. Because while so far the inside of the house seems pretty warm and inviting, the family that once lived here had some very dark secrets. There is a hidden attic in this manor, and while nobody alive remembers what kind of experiments and occult practices the family got up to in here, the remains that can still be found speak of something wicked. Nobody knows about this attic. Well, maybe the caretaker does. He's a very secretive man and nobody really knows what's going on inside his head. But the villagers certainly don't know. Otherwise, they would never hold their annual Thanksgiving feast in the very same halls that these poor souls have once perished in. I mean, look at this. One of them tried to flee, but didn't quite make it to the door, although it wouldn't have helped them anyway. This is not an escape route, it's just a room with a view. And then there's this poor guy who was apparently counting the days that he was prisoner here. He didn't make it very long. Looks like he died on day 8. Poor thing. Anyway, I'm getting goosebumps. It's very dark and dreary in here. Let's go back down where it's warm and inviting. One thing we're most known for in this village is our magical cooking skills, which is why most years we are the ones being made responsible for preparing the actual Thanksgiving feast. So let's go ahead and do that. For the feast, we prepared a stuffed pumpkin, a honey-glazed ham, a shepherd's pie, some roast chicken, roasted mutton chops, pasta with muttons, as well as a pumpkin pie and an apple pie. So with all of our meats in tow, let's get back and prepare the table. We got 4 placeable meals. I've already prepared the spaces for those. We got the stuffed pumpkin, the glazed ham, the shepherd's pie, and the roast chicken. And then the rest of these, I'm just gonna use cutting boards as plates. So we have some roasted mutton chops here, a pumpkin pie here, an apple pie here, the mutton pasta here, and then the other 2 are gonna have to make do with some cooked rice. Their doctor put them on a diet, and we're just following the doctor's orders. We're not playing favorites here or anything. And doesn't that just look so good? I'm getting hungry for real just seeing that. With this meal prepared, I feel like this is a pretty good spot to end the episode. Also, did you hear the iron golem dying in the background? Makes for some ambience. I love it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking or subscribing. That would mean a lot to me. And I will see you next time, because we've still got a lot to do here. Bye!